Hello, 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 thank you so much for joining me once again. My name is still Brian, this is still my channel, and today we are, well, quote-unquote, finishing Scarlet Hollow. I say quote-unquote because, as I've mentioned a couple times on this channel before, this is technically not a complete game quite yet. I believe there's 2 chapters that they're releasing, one at the end of 2025, one at the beginning of 2026, and taping this in May 2025. We're gonna have to wait a while for those other chapters to be released, but after this, hopefully we will be all caught up. So, you may also notice just a little bit of like behind the scenes stuff here. You might notice I got a haircut recently. I don't quite know my the release schedule I have in mind. I recorded some videos yesterday that I'm planning to put out, as well as this video today. I don't know the order I will put those in, so there's a very decent chance that when you are watching me, when you're watching these videos back to back, you might see me with a lot of hair, then this, and then a lot of hair again. It's not just me suddenly growing back that much hair. It's messed up release schedule basically. Anyway, going to go ahead and get started. So last time around, our friend Stella disappeared, as did her dog Gretchen. So we basically spent the entire time bouncing around different places in Scarlet Hollow and trying to track her down. So, for example, we went to visit our priest friend who also manages to speak to animals. Basically, it was a bunch of different side quests and like different plot hooks that we started learning about. So, like, we visited the priest friend, we visited our cousin, Tabitha, I believe her name is, and may or may not have completely betrayed her by letting her striking workers know that she was about to fire them. That may or may not come back to bite us. I am not sure. It's quite possible that the workers feel slighted and they kill her. Hope not, but if so, we'll assume the title of Scarlet Hollow's Luigi Mangione, and I guess I wouldn't be averse to that. Anyway, we'll see what happens as we continue the story from here. So, we left off, we bounced between a bunch of different places, and when we finished, we ended up at the general store, and this is where we're kind of picking up our search. The bells of the general store chime welcomingly as you and Avery bring Kanika inside. Oh dear, Kanika, you poor thing! This is why you were supposed to stay in bed today. If you keep running around like this, it's gonna take you so much longer to recover. Thank you both for getting her home. I hope you're feeling better after last night's fiasco. Hi, Mom. Come on, get up to bed. I'll be up in a moment with more tea. And Snow and Nerdy, once she's all situated, I believe I owe you a chat. Hopefully we can start to get to the bottom of whatever's happening to the town. Wait, if you're talking mystery-related stuff, I should be there. Sweetie, you've done enough today. And you never like when I do tea readings anyway. I'm sure Snow and Nerdy can catch you up once you're feeling better. Dots. Okay, you're right. I'm not feeling well. I should really lie down. Kanika heads towards the stairs and disappears without saying another word. And I'm so sorry to be a bad host, Avery, but I was hoping Snowy Nerdy and I could do our reading in private. I'm sure Winnie needs help at the diner. What was that voice? I always forget. Oh, you're right. I've totally left her on her own today. Fine by me, I wouldn't want to mess with your tea vibes. I'm sure those leaves are very particular. Oh, but before I go, I did want to ask. Are you a witch? As flattered as I am that you think I'm that magical, I'm just an old lady who likes tea and has a few unusual hobbies. Look, I'm just saying, doing stuff like reading tea leaves is pretty witchy as far as I'm concerned, but I won't push it. Though just so you know, if you are a witch, you can totally tell us. We'd be cool about it. In fact, the law requires that you tell us if you were a witch or a cop. I'll leave y'all to your not supernatural private tea leaf reading. We'll catch up tomorrow, Snowy Nerdy. They make their way out of the general store, disappearing down the street in the direction of the diner. Shall we? Sybil motions towards the tea room. I'm allergic to tea! Run away! Alright, let's go ahead and see if we can get some answers here. Although I wonder if I would get an achievement for just piecing out. Please, have a seat. I'll bring you a fresh cup. You take a seat at the small table at the edge of the room. It's dark here, only a sliver of sunlight able to filter through the heavy curtains supplemented by the bright grow lights over the plant in the corner, so they're helping the plant grow. That makes sense. It's castor bean. Ooh! An incredibly toxic plant and strange for a tea maker to keep around in a workspace. Yeah, that is interesting, because I believe, and if you watch Breaking Bad, you may be familiar with this, I believe that is the plant from which ricin, the poison, is also developed. So that is a very suspicious plant to just suddenly have. Sybil joins you at the table and places a cup in front of you. It smells light and citrusy, with only a small hint of poison. I mean, an undercurrent of decaying earth. I'll be able to do a reading once you're done. Until then, how about we just chat? Alright, let's go ahead and go from the top. Some of the plants in here are toxic. They seem like odd things to keep in a tea room. Castor bean and the oleander in the corner behind me. They can produce ricin and rat poison, respectively. Just seems like strange plants for a person who makes presumably edible tea to have lying around in the open. Well, everything is edible once. That is my life philosophy. So, you know, it is still edible, technically. Oh, you sharp. I'm an appreciator of plants regardless of whether they can be used in tea. Oleander's blooms are beautiful, and castor bean has such massive leaves. You have to admit it makes for an impressive plant. And they're both perfectly harmless so long as no one goes munching them. I keep these separate from the garden out back for just that reason, so no one confuses them for something edible. Alright, so how did you wind up? I feel like sipping my tea or drinking my tea or denying drinking my tea is probably going to advance the plot forward, so I don't want to do that just yet. Though I might save it just before I drink the tea so I can come back later and say I'm not going to drink this. I just want to see how her reaction would change. But I will drink the tea once we get to that point. So how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? Oh, my family's been in these hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generations of hill folk. There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here, especially not one most folks could afford. They have to figure out their own medicine. The other day you promised to tell me, what was it? Unsavory tales of my mom's youth. I most certainly did, though I might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what the age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Pearl Ann was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say, she was not a very kind woman. Oh, sorry, it looked like a period, but that might be a comma, so your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say she was not a very kind woman. Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man. Wow, more hatred than Tabitha, that's oof. But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Why were Pearl Ann and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young, too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive the labor. Aw, that's a shame. What do you know about my grandma? I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardine never spoke about them, nor did your mother. I feel I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? Did they even exist? Who needs men anyway? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, and to be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. Might have been Stuart or something just as forgettable, Bob. From what Vivian said, her father was just some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it, what with skipping town and all. What happened when my mom found out she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother. Maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced that she was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assume your mother's worries had something to do with religion. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious as far as I know.
But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It's always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby.
Alright. I feel like both of these are the same option, right? Quit yanking me around with all the mystery, so... let's just go with this one. If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it.
I'll need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help to give me the full picture.
Alright, like I promised, I will save this here. And I will drink the tea. Drink the tea, it's good for you. Okay. You take the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. But the aftertaste combines the two flavors into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. The tea is gone before you know it, the small cup empty, save for what's left of rehydrated leaves coating the bottom.
Oh, good. Glad you found the tea palatable enough to drink. It should do you some good. It's one of my more medicinal blends. Now, on to business.
Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge.
Oh dear, this doesn't bode well.
Yeah, I mean, ask the ditchlings. We don't need tea leaves to say that. Oh.
You've got it just about every one that can fit in the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, difficulty. And the hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has something to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something is coming, whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure. But we may at the very least be able to figure out what that is. And there's a central figure here, a cat, an enemy lurking in plain sight.
It's the French cat! The French have always been the enemies from the start. Oh my gosh, there's so many cats! Let's see. Could be Tabitha, could be Wayne, could be Stella, could be Kanika, could be Avery. I don't know you're not the cat. You know what? I'm gonna go with the joke option. Oh, the cat's gotta be Pixel, or maybe it's Fufu. Those are the two cats I know.
Dear, the cat isn't a literal cat. Like I said, it's a symbol for an enemy lurking in plain sight. Probably a human enemy, but almost certainly not a cat.
Okay, dang, so... I figured it was probably not an actual cat, but that's confirmation.
You don't have to figure out an answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. We know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way, and it's likely that it's connected to some hidden enemy.
Well, actually, you know, we've been making friends with Stella, but she did disappear, which could mean either something horrible has happened to her, or she's planning something horrible.
Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. Judging by what you told me last night, those stones, carvings, seals, whatever you want to call them, I think it's likely they have something to do with this. Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek its carvings out. Piece together what you can from your visions and arm yourself with information. Have you sensed any others around town? Do you think you might be able to find another?
Your thoughts drift to that door yesterday, the one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the clinic. Even just remembering it is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it just to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later, maybe you can even find her there. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. I think I felt another in the clinic.
That's good. If you can find your way inside and uncover another stone, that could give you a leg up on your adversary.
So, Stella, it could be anybody. Right now I'm thinking it could be Stella because she's disappeared. Or it could be Sybil because she's telling us all about, like, oh yeah, go to this very dangerous place and, you know, mess with these extremely supernatural stones. Which could very well be a sign of bad juju, just saying.
You'll just have to be careful to avoid the doctor. Something tells me she won't take too kindly to you sniffing around her clinic. I think that's all the help I can offer. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions than giving any clear answers.
All you did was look at some leaves and tell me to go put myself in the... I mean, yeah, that's true. You helped last night. Why didn't you come with me?
I may have been able to see through that spirit's illusion, but I'm not some kind of all-powerful entity. I'm an old woman. I have trouble with my knees, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. In most situations, I'd be more of a liability than a helpful companion. Imagine if I'd been in those mines with you. Some use I'd be struggling to climb over rocks and ladders, throwing my back out from all the crouching.
All you did was look at some leaves and tell me to go put myself in danger.
I suppose you can see it that way, but I hope I've done more than that, even if you don't realize it yet. Thank you again for humoring an old lady and stopping by for a chat.
With a small grunt of effort, because once again she is an old lady, Sybil gets up from the table and you're escorted back to the door.
And remember, be careful who you put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough.
Sybil closes the door to the tea room, the bells of its door strangely flat in the stale air of the nearly empty general store. Let's check in on Kanika. You're not going anywhere before checking in on Kanika. You make your way upstairs. Knock. You knock on Kanika's door. Mom, I really don't need any more tea. I think I'm just gonna lie down for a while. I'm not your mom. Oh, Snowy Nerdy, what's up? Can I come in? Sorry, Snowy Nerdy, my mom was right. I'm exhausted. I probably shouldn't push it or I'll wind up worse tomorrow. Looks like you're on your own. Oh, great. So I don't get to ask her any questions or talk to her even from the outside. Nor do I get to talk to Miles. Great. Wonderful. I'm going to the clinic. I didn't see all of what it said, but, you know, clinics are involved. You make your way up the familiar hill, past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet has been fixed to your ribcage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you towards whatever emits this compulsive frequency. Yeah, let's use the option that our abilities give us here. You quickly glance around, eyes trained on the underbrush. A flash of a striped tail grabbed your eye immediately. Was that this thing here? Like a raccoon? Who? What voice am I gonna use for this raccoon? Can I help you, Buster? Hey there, if you were trying to break into the house at the top of the hill, how are you doing? What, just because I got little hands go through people's trash, I'm supposed to know how to break into places? There's a hill that'll take you right up to the big flat roof thing. So, sometimes the humans leave windows open up there and I go inside. Don't tell them, okay? I like to sleep in their big piles of cloth. It's one of my few joys in life. He leaves as you turn back to look at the clinic. You have your way in. I will do what the raccoon told me to do. You're pretty sure you can make the jump to the second floor, at least with a running start. You make your way up the hill and bend your knees in anticipation, and then you jump. You land and try the door. It's unlocked, conveniently enough. The upstairs of the clinic feels like a decommissioned museum. Old furniture is covered in plain white sheets, and a thick layer of dust coats the floor. This place hasn't seen any use in years. You're in the clinic free to explore as you please. Or rather, you're free to explore as you please. You can feel that odd sensation again, the nagging pull of whatever it was that wanted you to find it. You've been caught by its gravity, an overwhelming curiosity guiding you around a corner and towards a dark doorway under the stairs. It's been left ajar as if inviting you to enter. I guess I'm turning on the lights. Ooh, body! The lights click on. You're in the morgue. Oh gosh, I completely forgot what voice I used for this guy. Snowy Nerdy, what are you doing in the morgue? Vampire! That seems goofy. Let's go for it. I'm not. Please don't stake me. I just sometimes find it easier to sleep down here. Don't ask me why. That's just how it is. His words seem distant to you. The tugging is strong down here. You can almost feel yourself slipping into a trance, and your eyes wander to the back wall of the morgue. You need to see what's back there. I guess I'm following the poll. I got so many options here. See, if I knew that the vampire option would have only done given me one dialogue option, then I wouldn't be able to try the rest. I might not have gone with it, but whatever. You touch the wall. It feels disappointingly solid under your palms.
Hey, are you okay?
You feel Reese's hand gently shake your shoulder, and for a moment, the thing on the other side of the blank white wall loosens its pull on you. You kind of look possessed for a second there. You good? Make him understand. Why wall? Neat see thing, but wall stand in way? I'm gonna go with that one. That's dumb. Reese glances back at the wall. Are you trying to get at something behind the wall? Kind of has a bad vibe, doesn't it? This is probably a bad idea, but if you really need to get in there, I'm pretty sure there's an emergency axe somewhere upstairs. I just need to get the doc out of our hair. It should take 2 seconds. Get the doc out of our hair? Yeah, if I say I'm sick and need something, she'll drop whatever she's doing and do it for me. Surefire way to get her out of the house. And most of the time it's true anyway. How'd you learn that little trick? When you're a teenager whose doctor mom won't leave you alone for 2 seconds, you learn how to make it happen. Alright? Yes, please. Act now. Wow, you were super desperate about this wall. Be right back. He strides past you, his long legs moving swiftly. He seems excited, his usual dour demeanor replaced with an uncharacteristic pep when faced with the prospect of sneaking around and tearing down walls. You hear a soft voice filtering in through the open doorway at the top of the stairs, a hoarse and sickly edge added for effect as he speaks to his mother. Hey, Mom, he coughs gently. Reese, didn't know you were awake. I still feel like shit, but I think I can finally try to keep some juice down. Looks like we're all out, though. Really? Thought I'd just pick some up. Got an errand to run on Main Street anyway. I'll go pick up some orange juice, and some ginger ale, too. That would be awesome. Sorry to ask, I know you're probably busy. See, the issue with doing these episodes as far apart as I tend to, it's usually like a week or two between episodes for this. I don't remember any of the voices that I used. I basically have to reinvent them on the fly. It's no problem. Actually, no, I think I used the gruffer voice name. No problem, doesn't take long. Don't do anything too strenuous while I'm gone. Just lie in bed till I get back. Thanks, Mom, I'll take it easy. You hear her footsteps move down the hall, then the front door opening and closing. It worked! The theatric rasp has left his voice, exciting rising in its place. Come on up, we don't have long until she's back. As you step out of the morgue, you relax. The extra space between you and the carving has weakened its hold on you, and with it your desperation to claw your way through the wall and unveil it. It's one of those emergency fire axes, so it should be pretty obvious wherever it is, though I'm not sure where she would be keeping it. I'll show you around. Let's try the doc's office first. You make your way to the doorway of her now vacant office. I don't see an axe in here. He's right. A cursory glance reveals nothing but stacks of paper and cabinets of medical supplies. But something on the desk catches your eye. Some sort of records with your family's name on them. Alright, well, I'm a fast reader. Let's skim. Reese stops in the doorway, turning to watch you leaf through the documents. Find something interesting? They're your family's death certificates. Let's look at other death certificates. Theodore Scarlet, cause of death, crushed in mine collapse, body not recovered, signed by his brother Enoch Scarlet. So you had a great uncle who died in the collapse. Joseph Scarlet, Louis Scarlet, died June 7th and 6th of 1944, so probably during the Normandy invasion or something like that. Both killed at Normandy in the line of duty. Look at me being book smart, woo! These must have been Edwardines brothers. Certificate of fetal death, infant boy, Edward Charles Scarlet, delivered April of 1945, stillbirth, Mother Edwardine Scarlet. Cause of death, complications during birth. No doctor present, home burial. That settles the question of whether you're related to Charlie. That is true, because, what was it? Yeah. Oh, Andrew Charles Scarlet, I guess that's technically Charlie, yeah. Alexandra Scarlet, missing. Died at age 9, missing, presumed dead. Signed by Mother Edwardine Scarlet. Alexandra, the owner of the doll, so she went missing. Is that the doll that was in our closet before? Interesting. Mary Bell Scarlet died at 17. I'm not reading the dates and years. Cause of death, complications during childbirth. Signed by Edwardine Scarlet. Wow, that's a lot of kids to outlive. Alright, let's look at Pearl Ann. Cause of death, sleep apnea. Sleep apnea? That can kill you? I guess like if you're like taking breaths and like having to, briefly stopping breathing while you sleep, that could cause you to die, yeah. I just didn't know that, but that's interesting. Discovered by daughter, Tabitha Chrysanthemum Scarlet. Weird name. No autopsy performed. Yeah,
Tabitha's middle name is Chrysanthemum? Wonder who cursed her with that mouthful.
I'm definitely gonna make fun of her for that later if the workers don't kill her. Edwardine's death certificate. Cause of death, heart failure, signed by her granddaughter, Pearl Ann. So that's our, what, great-grandmother, something like that? No. It would be great-great-grandmother. Hold on. So Pearl Ann, sleep apnea, no. Pearl Ann is Tabitha's mom. So that makes Pearl Ann our aunt. Which means this is our, presumably, what? Great aunt, something like that? Pretty normal, almost made it to 90, died of a normal old person illness. And Enoch's death certificate, died at 69, nice. Cause of death, fall from cliff, not nice. He died the same day Alexandra went missing. Oh, that's interesting. This one has the coroner's report attached. Organs sustained impact injuries, lacerations to the neck and body consistent with fall from great height. Whoa, an actual autopsy report. It looks ancient. I read my family's medical records. Yay for that being an achievement. You turn around and leave the office. It's time to move on. The medical supply room is probably a good bet. A fire axe seems like something that might be useful in a room full of chemicals. It's just down the hall. There it is. Looks like it needs a key though. Boom! Smash it. Oh, that's a good point. We better not break the glass. I'd rather explain why I had to steal the axe after we've had a chance to use it. There must be a key in here somewhere. He stops as if listening to something you can't hear. Shit, she's back already. As if on cue, you hear the front door to the clinic open and close the creak of its antique hinges, echoing down the hallway. Footsteps start down the hall. She's headed this way. Quick, we gotta hide. I'm not supposed to be in here. He opens the closet door and hurriedly motions you inside. You slip past him, scrunching into the small space as best you can. He attempts to slide in after you. Let him in. You make space, and he slips in next to you, closing the door just enough that you can both still monitor the entrance to the supply room. Dr. Kelly storms in, plastic bag in tow. She takes something out of the bag and places it on the counter. And then she hurries back out, bag rustling as she makes her way back down the hallway. We'd better wait a second, just in case. Stop trying to make me flirt with Reese. I don't want to flirt with Reese. Let's quietly wait for the danger to pass. Taking shallow breaths as if she could hear you breathing from the other side of the building. But the footsteps soon return. Dr. Kelly makes her way back towards your hiding place, creaking floorboards broadcasting your location all to the hallway just outside your hiding spot. His head swivels suddenly. That was the door to the house. We're in the clear. Let's go! The two of you spill out of the closet. Reese quickly and quietly starts pulling out drawers, scanning them for keys. You can't help but notice what Dr. Kelly left on the long steel table in the middle of the room. A sprig of small furry fruits, castor beans. Wonder if she got them from Sybil, because I'm sure there are not... I mean, I hope there are not very many places to get castor beans in a small town like Scarlet Hollow. You've seen them elsewhere in town, but for the life of you, you can't remember where. Literally, we just came from Sybil's. Like, do I have that? I'm book smart, and I have the memory of a squirrel. What are you doing? Why did your mom get castor beans? Yes, found the keys. He holds up a small ring of keys, each with a strip of colored tape on the head. What's this about beans? Oh, those weird little fruit things. Reese unlocks the cabinet and offers you the fire axe. Here's your axe. And I don't know, I've never seen them before. I'm not allowed in the supply room. It's probably some kind of medicinal plant, right? She took out a chemistry set, too, though come to think of it, she's not supposed to make medicine. She's not a pharmacist. This room is just storage for orders she gets from a pharmacist over in Brevard? Apologies to anybody who lives in North Carolina and actually knows what this town is, if it's an actual real place, which I cannot confirm. I'm going Brevard. Why would she bring something like that in here? This plant is not medicinal, makes one of the deadliest poisons known to man. Several known to monkeys. But she's not using it for that, right? Why would she give people poison? Do you know what she gives you for your supposed illness? No, I don't. She's never explained it. Thought it was too complicated for me to understand, so she didn't bother. Maybe she has some kind of information on it lying around here somewhere.
That drawer over there is locked. If I were information on some mysterious alien-looking fruit, I'd probably be in a locked drawer, right? I mean, can't argue with that logic. Good thing I already have the keys.
He unlocks the drawer, pulling out a notebook.
This is about me. There's stuff in here from when I was like 12. Some kind of diary or medical history or both, I guess. What the hell is this? Something about another episode. Guessing she's referring to one of my rough nights. Oh, here we go. There's some illustrations.
Nuts. He glances to the strange pen on the countertop.
It's those beans you mentioned. She uses them to make my medicine. That's poison, right?
He jerks his head toward the door.
Shit, that was the door from the house. We gotta run.
You follow Reese's instruction, once again starting down the basement stairs, letting the pull of the stone carving guide you back to the morgue. Dr. Kelly's voice filtered down from above. I was right. We did already have juice. It was just in the back of the fridge. But there's no harm in having extra. What are you doing in the clinic? I thought I told you to go rest.
Oh, I'm just gonna chill in the morgue. I got my speakers, so if you hear some weird sounds, that's just my music.
I'll be sure to put in earplugs to drown out all the industrial clanging you listen to. You know I'm not the biggest fan of you spending time down there. It can't be good for your mental health to hang out in a refrigerator for corpses. Do you at least have a blanket this time?
Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a change of scenery. My room feels too claustrophobic right now.
Okay, I'll let you know when it's time for dinner.
You don't have to do that. I'll grab something from my room later.
Good thing she's putting in those earbuds, because I'm guessing busting down the wall with an axe is not going to be quiet. Sure, whatever you're able to do. You hear the door close and the sound of Reese descending the stairs to join you in the fluorescent lit room below. Hey. I should warn you something spooky might happen when we break down that wall. Reese smiles. Good, I feel like I've been missing out lately. Stop asking questions, it's time to see what's on the other side of the wall. Wall!
I'd like to do the honors if you don't mind. I've got some confused and angry feelings I'd like to express.
Reese takes the axe from you and approaches the wall. Reese manages to cut through the wall with very little effort, unexpected from someone with his frame and condition. But you know his stringy muscles are backed by a mountain fear of what's been done to him. That goes a long way. It does. He staggers back from the massive hole in the wall and admires his work.
Holy shit.
The splintered edge frames a dark passage, seemingly cut deep into the side of the cliff, cold seeping from a forgotten place into the already frigid morgue. Reese coughs as he takes a better look at what lies behind the wound in the wall.
There's a whole hallway back there.
Thick, stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with an earthy mildew smell, like the room is slowly filling with dirt. And with the stink of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward, and you climb into the hole. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing, rotted away for decades behind some flimsy drywall. His voice sounds distant. Your soul for... Okay, first of all, how big is this house that it can just hide an entire hospital wing behind a wall that nobody is familiar with? Like, feels like it should be... It's not Snoopy's doghouse. It should appear huge. Anyway, his voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway towards the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. Whoa, are you okay? Probably not. You don't respond and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. By the way, last time we had a vision like this, we passed out, so I don't know if that's going to happen again. Tear into it. Oh my gosh, that what? Like a Medusa? Oh, this is from the memory! Enoch, I thought you weren't gonna come. I was worried you'd leave me here forever. They said there's nothing they can do. I'll never use my legs again. Enoch, what am I gonna do? Calm down, Teddy. Those doctors don't know what they're talking about. I've been doing my own research, and I found us an alternative. We won't have to worry about anything from here on out, I promise. I went to talk to the witch. Oh, great, there's a witch now.
A witch? But that's nonsense.
It's alright, it's all sorted. We're taking you home today, and everything will be resolved by this time next week. Everything goes black. Your vision swims back into focus, and it takes a solid second or two to reorient yourself, as we passed out again. You're in an unfamiliar bed. Reese leans against the far wall, eyeing you with concern and curiosity.
Hey, I was worried you'd slipped into a coma or something. You tore down a wall like a wild animal, found some weird carving, and collapsed. I think you might have had some kind of seizure.
Oh, that... I didn't know they could get the right... That is a very, like... Are they allowed to use a Hellraiser poster? Because that is very close to Hellraiser. Are there any other posters that I recognize? Admittedly, Hellraiser is iconic in terms of, like, poster design. I don't really recognize any of the other ones, but, you know, hopefully they paid for the copyright. Or trademark, I guess. I don't know.
Are you okay?
Let's see here. Wait, nothing spooky? I'm confused about that. Nothing spooky happened? The mountain didn't collapse on us? No ghosts?
No, nothing. You just fell down, twitched a little, and when you seemed stable, I carried you back here. That was a few hours ago.
You don't have the kind of muscle mass required for that.
Huh? Why would I lie about that? I just picked you up and carried you back. It's not like I had to go very far.
I had a vision.
Like a hallucination? I have those sometimes too. Used to have them a lot as a teen. Always just weird little things, like my hands would look wrong, or my neck would seem too long, or the room would feel smaller.
Let's see here. This covers some big gas pocket. Vision thing that already happened. I do think they're trying to warn me about something. My family has dark secrets.
An old family like yours? I believe it. Hopefully that's all ancient history, though.
Does Dr. Kelly know I'm here?
No, I snuck you back into the house while she was busy in the medical storage room. Figured you wouldn't want to come to in the morning.
That would be a good point. Now I'm the vampire! You didn't call an ambulance when I started seizing?
Stella said you did something similar a couple days ago.
Oh, look at you listening to Stella.
I figured it might be something that happens to you every now and then. I know I wouldn't want somebody calling an ambulance for me every time I had an episode. Going to the hospital sucks.
So what now?
You might be stuck down here for a little bit. The doc is on the warpath up there. I refuse to take my medicine, and she's not happy about it. I'm sure you can understand why. There's no way I'm gonna take anything she gave me. She's been poisoning me for years. I've been thinking about what you said at dinner last night, and I don't see any other possibility. It's only been a day since I stopped taking my pills, and I feel great.
Wait, hang on. So it's been a day since he stopped taking them. Did he lie to us about when he recovered us? Because he said we were only out a few hours. But a few hours ago, he only learned about the rice a few hours ago. So it feels like he would have stopped him a few hours ago, right?
Anyway, I went ahead and blocked my door so she can't get down here. Now we just have to wait her out.
I don't get why your mom would poison you, though.
I don't know. But it's all in here. She never outright says that's what she's doing. And the recipe she came up with to deal with my flare-ups, whatever she thinks those are, involves that weird plant that was on the counter. Those castor beans. You were right. And ricin poisoning matches up with quite a few of my symptoms. The thing I can't figure out is whether she's been trying to kill me slowly, or if she just likes keeping me sick enough to be dependent on her. Either way, I don't think I ever had an illness. I think the illness was me growing up and becoming less easy to control. She sure found a cure for that.
Ricin is really bad. How are you not dead?
I don't know. Maybe it's low enough doses, or maybe I developed the tolerance?
What is that, like Mithridatism or something like that? I think that's the word for it. Well, at least Mithridatism is like doing what Wesley did, for instance, by developing them into the iocane powder. But I think the fact that I feel more and more alive by the minute is enough proof that she was keeping me sick. I don't even need solid evidence. With your evidence, you should be able to go to the cops. Maybe not the local cops, but a cops.
You're right, I have her journal. That's pretty incriminating, even if she left out any descriptive words for what she was up to. Ideally, I'd never have to see or think about her ever again, but if it comes to it, this could be my guarantee she would never be able to have power over me again.
No matter what, we should get out of this basement soon.
Where would we go? The only person I know who has a car is Kanika, and she's not answering her phone. I don't know anyone else. I don't have any other family to go to. I never even finished high school. When I get out of this house, I don't know how I can make sure I don't wind up right back down here.
You can stay with me if you want, at least until you get on your feet. Or, Tabitha will probably be cool with it. You know, if the workers kill her, we won't need to worry about her opinion anyway. It's just a rundown... Oh, we're talking about my actual place. It's just a rundown studio apartment, but there's a roof over your head and a warm place to sleep when the heat works. And nobody trying to poison me. Sounds like a pretty big upgrade. He smiles, his eyes distant as he imagines the possibility of such a life, undoubtedly for the first time. Thanks, Snowy Nerdy. You have no idea how much this offer means to me. But I guess we still gotta pass the time before we can get out of here. A distraction seems like a good idea. As you can probably tell, I'm getting a little jittery. Maybe it's the lack of poison in my system for the first time in years, or the fact that my whole perception of reality has been turned on its head. Probably a combo. It would obviously take more than a day for ricin poisoning to be out of his system. Obviously. It doesn't feel awful, to be honest. You could always draw me. What if Mom doesn't fall asleep? You shouldn't call her my mom. As far as I'm concerned, she's forfeited that title. I don't even think I should call her doctor. She's just a woman now. Can't wait for her to be a rearview mirror the rest of my life. If she doesn't fall asleep by 10, we can figure something else out. These windows are supposedly shatterproof, which she always said was for burglars. Now I assume it was yet another way to keep me boxed in, but we can try to break them anyway. Again, I want to flirt with Stella. Why are you not letting me flirt with Stella? But let's go ahead and do the callback of the movie. I believe you owe me a showing of She, Deathblood. I believe I do. Reese gets the movie set up and joins you on the bed. Let me know if it gets to be too much for you. I'm not a great judge of how other people will react to the sort of things I watch, but I definitely don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is a slow burn of a movie, but the dread it's managing to build is palpable in the room, very appropriate for this game. Or maybe that's just how it feels down here, all the time, with the grisly paintings, lack of lighting, cinder block walls, and of course, the fact that the woman currently lurking upstairs had been poisoning her son since his teens. I've seen a couple of this director's other films, and they're all interesting, though this was probably the best introduction to his work. The way it jump cuts to seemingly unrelated TV show recordings that then wind up tying back into the narrative adds a level of realism and depth to the world that I find really engrossing. It's found footage used to its fullest. I can't believe I'll be able to just do things from here on out, like watch movies with another person. Or talk to people, ever. You can hear the difference in energy now that Reese hasn't had his daily dose of poison. He's uncharacteristically chatty, clearly not used to talking to another person, let alone when he has the energy to carry on a long conversation. Ignore him and watch. Shh! Shut the hell up, I'm trying to watch this movie. Glad he'll be able to have a social life and I'm happy to be a part of it. Reese smiles to himself. Still hard to imagine. Hard to believe that after all these years alone that that's gonna be my reality. A man on the screen yells portraits of doom into the camera. Trailing off into a wordless screen. The plot is really heating up. I love that there are all these distinct sort of vignettes, little pockets of horror that affect a small number of people, and only once you start to see how they fit together can you realize some fundamental horror about the universe. And then it sees you back. Incredible, cosmic horror in the truest sense. Reese is becoming very animated. It's probably safe to assume that he's dealing with a lot of extra adrenaline by now, with his entire reality turning out to be a lie. But he's also talking over the movie. This is too scary. You should hold me. Reese, you feeling okay? I'm just jittery. I've had a really weird day, and I think being down here is making me anxious. I'm all hopped up on adrenaline. Maybe waiting out the dock's a bad idea. The longer we wait, the more likely it is that she'll figure out we're onto her, and it would be too easy for her to lock me up again and be thorough about it this time. There's a knock on the window.
Snowy Nerdy, don't get any closer to that thing. It's time to go home.
That voice. I know that voice. Ooh, Reese knows that voice. Is that who's been following you around? Without another word, Wayne starts pounding on the supposedly shatterproof window. Enemies upstairs, enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe. What do you mean? Why did he call you that thing? He called Reese that thing? Oh, he did call Reese that thing. Oh no. Why did he call you that thing? Because he's some kind of monster, and he wants me dead. Can you feel that? The murderous intent is practically oozing out of him. I don't know if I trust Reese, but I'm not weak anymore. I can fight back. I don't have to cower and feel from the people who want to hurt me.
I can protect both of us, Snowy Nerdy. The window shatters.
Oh no. What on earth? Huh? As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases, foolish figures peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional world, invading yours, crawling up the walls.
Grab my hand, I'll pull you out.
Leave us alone!
In a surge of violence, the change that has been brewing inside of Reese finally comes. As it manifests, the broken basement window is sealed off, and Wayne along with it. Oh my god! I'm gonna save here. Something's gonna happen and I might need to reset. Let's stay where I am here. Because I feel like if I run for the stairs, he's just going to catch me and kill me, right? I don't want to do that. We aren't safe, but I feel strong now. I think I can save us. Stay here, I'll be right back. I just have to deal with the doc. He storms up the stairs, leaving with his creations. Oh no! Oh no! Try and warn Dr. Kelly. Oh no. You make your way up to the door that beckoned to you yesterday. All intrigue now washed away. You know where it leads, and you know what secrets the stone that lurked in the forgotten basement of the clinic had to share with you. Now the clinic holds a new horror. Somewhere beyond the narrow hallway leading from the house proper into the doctor's office, there is a monster preparing to do something unthinkable. Open the door. No! You grasp the handle and turn. Duck! I'll duck. You do what she says, ducking out of the way. She shoots. The gun isn't very loud. There's only a pop as the projectile leaves the barrel, whizzing through the air. You turn to see a dart embedded in Reese's chest. He pulls the tranquilizer dart out from between his ribs, heaving heavy breaths as the drug courses through his system. You're gonna have to try harder than that, you... No! How did you...
As if you could hope to stop me, you pathetic waste of flesh.
What on earth is going on here? Okay, so we have Dr. Kelly, we have Monster Reese, and we have Wayne. I don't know what Wayne is doing. Dr. Kelly seems like she's trying to protect us. Before Wayne takes another step down the stairs, paint flows out between cracks in the wood. Reese is panicked, pulling in a mob of furious creatures to hold his enemy in place. The artist darts away, but his creations continue their work in his absence. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hallway as Wayne is overcome, glued in place at the top of the stairs by stiffening globs of paint. I'll run after Dr. Kelly. You run forward, braving the onslaught of Reese's creations, dodging them as best as you can as you try to see where Dr. Kelly went. The door in front of you was smothered in paint.
Hey!
Dr. Kelly's voice crackles out of some unseen speaker. You, Snowy Nerdy. I'm stuck in the safe room. I can't help you from here, but can't help the both of us. What the hell is your son, ma'am?
I wish I knew.
He was fine until he hit puberty. Everyone said raising a teen was gonna be a bitch, but they don't know the half of it. I need you to get to the medical storage room. I'll give you further instructions when you're there. I'll head to the medical storage room. You turn back around and head to the medical storage room. I'm here. Great. Now listen to me. I need you to use the black taped key to get into the cabinet and bring me the elephant tranquilizers. It's a bottle labeled carfentanil. Bear tranquilizers clearly aren't gonna cut it anymore. An intercom system, huh, Doc? Good. You should hear this. Snowy Nerdy, you don't have to do anything she says. I'm not gonna hurt anybody else, just her. If I don't, you and I both know she's gonna shoot me full of elephant tranquilizers, did I hear that right? And shove me back in that basement, or maybe someplace even worse, and keep killing me every day for the rest of my miserable existence. I feel amazing right now. Better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not dangerous. She's just scared because she knows she has to finally pay for what she's taken from me. Wayne, help me! Oh no. All of these seem like very savable moments. Oh, sheesh. I'm so scared right now. I don't know what to do. Okay, So I don't know if the cat that was in the tea leaves is referring to Reese, but I mentioned earlier that a couple of the things in his story didn't seem to check out, and I was starting to not trust him. So I'm not gonna let you kill someone, Reese. Why not? She wasn't afraid I might die. Does she know those tranquilizers aren't gonna kill me? Does she care? Trust me, Reese. I've always been careful with your medication. I want you to live. I love you. Tell yourself whatever lies you have to, Mom. If you wanted a good relationship, you had your chance. And you decided to convince me I was dying instead of just letting me exist. Don't try to spin it like some kind of crime of passion now that the consequences are staring you in the face. Enough! Reese cries out in pain. Ah! What the hell did you do to my shoulder? I'll handle it. Try to get somewhere safe until then. Oh my gosh! This is wild! The two stagger off down the hallway. Quick, grab the tranquilizers and head to the safe room. I'll grab the tranquilizer. Do, she says. The tranquilizers are easy to find, marked with a small square of black tape to match the key. She's certainly an organized woman. To the safe room, let's go! You make your way out of the medical storage room and back to the hallway where Dr. Kelly disappeared. As you approach, Dr. Kelly heaves open the door, slowly breaking apart the massive paint ceiling and shut. Hurry! I don't think I can keep it open for long! You slip past her into the safe room. She shuts the door quickly, though one of the little smears manages to slip past her. She stomps on it. Painted viscera splatters across the cement floor. Sounds like Reese and your friend are still fighting. We probably have a few minutes before he gets here. Let's talk Reese. Yeah, I bet you have some questions. Go ahead, I have nothing left to hide. What is he? Let's start with the basic questions. At first I thought he was some kind of werewolf. But if he is, he doesn't follow any kind of full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit to him, and you've seen what he looks like. It's just weird. I always wish I could examine him while he's fully transformed. I'd be fascinated to know what happens to him or how his body does it. Sorry. But he seems pretty hell-bent on ripping my throat out, so I guess that'll just have to remain a mystery. When did you find out? A little after he hit puberty. He had all the usual changes, then a few extra. Thickened nails, sharp teeth, elfish ears. I figured he might have some kind of genetic disorder. Had him checked out at a few specialists, but there was nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument, and he changed right in front of me. It was nothing like what he is now, just a couple inches and some facial abnormalities, enough to be noticeable. I was scared, he could see that, and he stopped. I thought it was a one-off or maybe a hallucination, but the second time it wasn't as subtle, and it didn't go away as easily. That's when I knew for sure this was something beyond my realm of expertise. How did he not know what he was? I've been medicating him since he was 12. We've only had 3 incidents like this before, maybe 4 depending on what count. This is the worst one by far. He doesn't seem to understand at first that he looks different, and I just make sure to stay on top of his dosages, so he rarely ever does. But I've been preparing for this inevitability. He's an adult now, there's only so much I can do to control him. Why did you start poisoning him? Dr. Kelly sighs. Can we stop calling it poison? Yes, it's poison, but the act of me giving him poison was not me poisoning him. I was medicating his illness. It started when he was around 15. I'd been giving him increasingly high doses of Klonopin, but his body kept adapting and his symptoms would come back, especially if we ever fought. Excuse me for a moment, I want to look up what Klonopin is. I'm guessing it's like some kind of antipsychotic, but it feels like it's worth checking. Agoraphobia, social anxiety disorder. Alright, basically Xanax, it looks like. Okay, cool. I couldn't keep ordering all those drugs. It was already suspicious, and I could risk losing my license, especially if anyone ever found out what I was using them for. Someone approached me with a solution. I took it. And I've been dealing with the emotional and mental consequences of that decision ever since. Who approached you and what did they say? Dr. Kelly gave you a large heart loan. Maybe Sybil, because she had the ricin, right? I don't want to talk about that woman. But screw it, I might die tonight. Sure, I'll tell you. It was... Okay, it was somebody. It was. For sure, we can tell that it was. But it did cut out. I'm guessing it was Sybil. She's claiming she's not a witch, but she's definitely a witch, right? This is obvious. Maybe not a witch, but she might be some kind of like Wiccan or, some kind of like spiritual, herbaceous kind of person. Wouldn't surprise me if she had some witchiness inherent in her, though. Was that similar? A strange little smile creeps onto Dr. Kelly's face. I wish I knew. This just kind of happened. What? You weren't suspicious when you were immaculately pregnant? Come on. I wasn't seeing anyone. I just woke up pregnant one day. I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. You really should have suspected something before he was like 13. I kept having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes. Romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were just dreams. But then all of a sudden, my period stopped. I got morning sickness, and roughly 9 months later, Reese. The relationship between you seems so difficult. Yeah, you could say that. You were such a cute kid. When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. I didn't know if I'd be ready, but he made me look dumb. It's not like it was gonna be sunshine and roses forever. No matter what, kids grow up and they change. Sometimes for the worst. This is part of being a mom too. Doing what you can to make sure the child you brought into the world isn't gonna go around eating people. Yeah. I feel like when you decide to become a parent, there are various, levels of achievement that you want to reach with your kid. Very, very base level of parenting is not cannibalistic. That should be the minimum. How do you know he's dangerous? Well, he wants to murder me, so that's clue number 1. It's not like he's usually a violent kid. He's mostly just sad. But every now and then, we butt heads, and that's usually when this side of him comes out. Imagine if this happens anytime he got frustrated with anyone. Imagine he gets road rage one day and turns into a 12-foot tall monster with a million teeth and rips somebody apart in the middle of a major metropolitan area. Yeah, he's dangerous. I can fix him! Again! Stop trying to flirt with this guy! What you're doing is difficult, but it is necessary. Glad you see that. Makes me feel a little less cruel. Yeah, I mean, I know that it may not be the most moral, but I mean, come on. She's doing her best here. It hasn't been easy doing all this to him, but I know it's for the best, for him and for everyone else. I guess I'll leave it at that. Alright, what is this room? Old x-ray room, lead walls. After I realized this whole situation was a possibility, I had the door reinforced with special remote-controlled locks. Glad it could finally come in handy. What's the game plan, both short and long term? Well, I pump him full of elephant tranquilizers, then I lock him in here. Then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective. Then we all live happily ever after. Has that worked before? Never known the exact nature of his condition before. Maybe it was a mistake to hide it from him. But I thought it meant he could feel like he had more freedom, not knowing that if he just stopped taking his pills, he could become big and pointy enough to kill me. I'm gonna have to revoke some of those freedoms now. He's not gonna like that, but I think he'll understand even if it takes time. I don't think he wants to hurt people, he just can't help what he is. While we're at it, any other secrets you keeping? You have it all. You have no idea how relieved I am to finally say all this shit out loud. She seems a lot cooler now that she's not trying to hide secrets, I gotta say. Alright, let's wait for Reese. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for her son to make his way to you. The sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside the safe room. Shit, this might be game time. Get those tranks ready. We have to get this door open before he crosses the hallway. Oh no. Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. Ah! Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. He's on the way. He's a big boy. Hi! Is this what you were so afraid of? And over the tranquilizers, this is our shot. It would be so funny to not give her. I'm gonna save this here again, I just want to see what happens when you don't give her the tranquilizers, but I'm going to probably do that off camera. For now, I'm giving her the tranquilizers. Dr. Kelly quickly loads them into her gun, leveling the barrel at her son. Snowy Nerdy, I thought we were in this together. Thank God. Dr. Kelly sighs heavily, staring down at the warped figure of her son. I can drag him into the safe room on my own. I'll meet you at the front when I'm done. I'll leave her to it. You return to the entrance of the clinic. Everything is quiet now, only streaks of paint where Reese's minions had once roiled out of cracks in the wood. Alright, I got an achievement for locking him away. Oh my god, that was so stressful. Oh, I love this game so much. It is so stressful at times, but it is so cool and the art is so good. I hope you understand this needs to stay between us. I don't care how much you feel like you need to share what happened with other people. The more people know about this, the more trouble it is for me and for him. I don't need any more well-intentioned escape plans. Can I come visit him? As long as you don't bring anyone else along, yes, that would probably be good for him. I can't promise I want to see you, or that he won't have some harsh words if he does, but I don't want him to be entirely isolated. There's a magic stone in your basement, just thought you should know. Also, we busted a hole in the wall down there. You know, okay, thanks for the heads up, I guess. You know, you helped me, tranquilize my werewolf son, so I'll let that one slide. Do you think you'll let any of his friends in on this? She heaves a sigh. I'll have to think about it. We'd run the risk of one of them trying to break him out, but if he's stuck in a windowless room with no internet and no friends, that's a one-way ticket to insanity. Then I'd have an insane monster on my hands. Stella in particular would be a problem. That girl never knows how to mind her own business or follow other people's rules, and she would have absolutely no fear of what might happen if he was cut loose. Kanika, I might consider. She's got a bit of a bleeding heart and pretty inflexible morals, which could be a problem. On the other hand, I don't know how well she could keep a secret, and if Stella found out, then Kanika could probably be convinced to do a jailbreak, and then it'd all blow up in my face. You can probably tell I've put a lot of thought into this. It's the same calculation I've been doing for years, debating whether or not I could be fully upfront with any of them, instead of just pushing them away and hoping they didn't notice what was really going on. She sighs again. Maybe I'll get him a kitten or something. Like they did for Coco the gorilla. Might as well give him a tire swing while I'm at it, some enrichment for his enclosure. I hate that I have to do this to him. Poor Reese. I almost wish he was more like a werewolf. Transforms on a predictable schedule, isn't aware of himself when he does. It would make all this a lot easier. Instead, I have to stare him in the eye while I turn the key, knowing every time I do, I'm driving him further and further away from me. As much as I'd love to stand around chatting, I have to get to work. Gotta clean this place as best as I can before tomorrow. You should probably get home. It's dark. I'm sure your cousin is worried about you. Give her a hug. No offense, but I'm not a hugger. No, you don't put your arms out like this. You tackle her. See you later, Snowy Nerdy. She firmly escorts you to the door. It closes behind you. The night is oddly warm compared to the chill of the day. Crickets sing quietly in the sleepy little neighborhood. Everything that happened in the clinic feels almost like a dream, and now that it's over, you realize how little it meshes with your understanding of the world. Go home. It's time to go home. But before you can get far, you're interrupted by the sound of panting and the telltale jingling of dog tags. So this is going to be either Gretchen or the mayor. Or the posse, I guess. It's the militia. They've poured out of the woods to stand before you on the road. Oh gosh, I forget what voices I did for these. I know they were good voices. You were looking for Gretchen, weren't you? We found her in person. They're by the side of the road, a little ways through the woods. I'm doing like energetic dog voices this time. I'll deal with it. They're both fine, but the human wouldn't leave when we tried to make her, and Gretchen insisted on sticking by her side, so we'll have to take you to them. Hopefully you can use your people words to get them to go somewhere safe. The woods are crawling with those awful creatures. It's not safe anymore, not even for a human. You are very, very good dogs. Lead the way. Yes, we are good dogs. Hear that, Scraps? I'm not in it for the accolades, Daisy. I just do it to help those who need it. You let the dogs lead you into the wilderness, following on their heels as they take you to Stella's hideaway. Before long, the trees thin, and you find yourself on a steep hill by a two-lane road, lined on one side by sheer rock. And there, sitting on a log staring mournfully out at the asphalt, is Stella. There they are. Keep them safe. Businia speaker. You sit on the log beside Stella. Snowy Nerdy? How did you... She looks over her shoulder in confusion. Is that a gang of dogs? I'm so glad my compatriots could be of service. I simply couldn't survive another night without my nice soft bed. Scraps and Daisy formed a militia. It's a long story, but they helped me find you. Huh, neat. What is this place, Stella? Why are you here? It's just a bunch of bad memories. There's nothing left to talk about. Come on, let's get back to town. I know that stretch. That's the time to go home stretch. Thank the Lord I'll be sleeping in my own bed tonight. Thank you, Snow and Ernie, for talking sense into this girl. Ooh. Oh, I'm tempted to say she doesn't need to know what happened, but at the same time, she is my closest confidant. I feel like I should tell her. Oh? You relay the events of the evening as best as you can. Saying it out loud somehow makes it feel less real, like you're sharing the plot of a horror movie, not something that actually happened to you. Oh my god. I'm just gonna go ahead and lock that one away in the void. Stella scoops Gretchen up in her arms, and the three of you walk back to town in silence. I guess I'll see you tomorrow? She gives you a tired wave before retreating into her house.
Time for you to get home too.
He appears as if out of nowhere, clothes streaked with what at first looks like blood and gore, but you quickly realize is pain, evidence of his altercation with Reese.
I'll walk you.
Thank God you're okay. I was worried Reese might have gotten you. Wayne emits a strange kind of coughing sound. You realize he's laughing.
Shall we?
Yeah, sure, why not? He doesn't seem to want to hurt me, at least as of right now, so I am good coming with Wayne. Wayne walks just ahead of you in near complete silence. Flirt with Wayne! Did you know Reese was like that?
I knew he was different. How exactly I wasn't sure, but now I know.
I thought you wanted me to stay at the estate. Aren't you going to lecture me?
You were free to make your own decisions, and those decisions have been made. I know that something pulls at you, and now that it's started, I know you cannot stop until your task is finished. I'll keep you safe while you do what you must.
Sorry, what did he say? I want to reread that. Something pulls at you, and now that it's started, okay, I cannot stop. Good. Why are you following me around? Why not Stella or Kanika or Sybil? Why not Tabitha?
Because you're special.
But why? Why am I so special?
You simply are.
Oh, thank you! You know, Wayne, Mr. Rogers, basically the same person. No. God makes me special and loves me just the way I am.
Do you not feel the ties that bind us? They are unbreakable.
Thanks for looking out for me tonight.
Anytime you find yourself in danger, I'll be there for you. I will always be there for you. You don't need to keep coming up with new topics of conversation to fill the silence.
Yeah, he's kind of got me there.
You're tired. It's been a long night. You should rest.
Wayne remains silent for the rest of the journey back to the estate. Good, I don't get to flirt with Wayne.
I'm sure we'll see each other tomorrow. You should try to spend some time in that old building before you head to town. Tabitha won't be around. Too busy at the mines. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her there to stop you, and you might be surprised at what you find. Until then, sleep well.
He disappears into the underbrush. That is a hard voice to do. I gotta get, deep in my throat for that. Let's go home. The estate feels empty, wind howling through its abandoned halls, the very foundations creaking beneath you. Your cousin must have already gone to bed. And I, too, will go to bed. Exhausted beyond belief, you stumble into your room and collapse on the bed. The damp smell of the mattress is starting to become almost welcoming, a sign that the now daily horrors of Scarlet Hollow are finally behind you, at least until the sun inevitably rises once again. You close your eyes, your exhausted body succumbing to sleep almost immediately. As you drift off, you think of Reese, trapped in that tiny windowless room, all his greatest fears realized, his body no longer his own. But you stopped him from killing Dr. Kelly. The world, at least from now, is protected from him. I feel so bad for Reese. I could have let him kill Dr. Kelly, but it feels like letting loose an eldritch abomination probably would not have worked very well for anybody. And then you think of nothing. This is the end of episode 4! Episode 5 will release later this year. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the rest of Scarlet Hollow's development. Wow. That was... Oh, wait, hang on. Is that... So, hold on. So, that is the one that I said... I was gonna save with... Okay, so I'm going to save there. Wow. Okay, so that... Congratulations for finishing all the episodes currently available in the game. You've unlocked Hardcore Mode? Hardcore Mode allows you to select three traits of character creation, but you'll no longer be able to use your traits to avoid the consequences of major decisions. This penalty only applies to hardcore runs. Have fun if you dare. If you'd like to continue with this world state in episode 5, please save your game now. I'll just save it again because it tells me to. And I may well play Slay the Princess at some point. But for now, I am going to leave off there. Wow. This game is just so cool. I love it so much. And you know, I've talked about like, you know, I'm not monetized. I'm doing this as a kind of passion project. I don't have a lot of people watching. But if I hadn't created a YouTube channel that encouraged me to kind of look out for games that I might not have been aware of, you know, on my average day-to-day life, I would have never known this game existed. I wouldn't have been able to dive into it. This is so cool, though. I am so looking forward to it later. And if you are one of my viewers, thank you, of course, for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy these too. I will 100% be playing Chapter 5 whenever that comes out in the near distant future. Oh my gosh. In the meantime, what else? What do I have left to play right now? I have Lab Rat. I've got Me-Side. I may end up playing Slay the Princess as well, especially because I know they did like some kind of update or something like that. And, you know, this game is so cool. I feel like doing the creator's other game only makes sense. But in the, you know, as always, if you have any other games that you want me to play or any thoughts about these streams, please leave them in the comments. I'm always keeping an eye on what people have to say. Make sure that you are liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the notification bell if you want to be notified when I post new videos, and sharing with all of your friends and or enemies depending on who you have in your life and who you want to share it with. Just want to make sure that you are staying involved, staying engaged, most importantly, staying cool. I'll see y'all next time with a different game for now. Bye bye!